That's a lecture by itself, of course. The question is when some people they think they're going to delay their marriage or they won't give their daughters for marriage or the young man does not get married till he's financially stable and that's all relative from one person to the other. One of the benefits that we get when you're following the tafsir of the Quran, you would find again the scary thing of how human beings they like things that has no basis to it whatsoever. And this is very scary thing because people would think that this is absolutely fine, a very perfect meaning to have. But when you read the Quran and you see the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, we're not talking about that it's not permissible for a person. Marriage is whether it's permissible or mandatory upon a person, it's different from one person to the other. But to have this as part of one's understanding, this is wrong. And if someone is able to, there's conditions. من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. The Prophet ﷺ, when he addressed the young men, he said, whoever is able for you to get married, al-ba'a is physically is able to get married and financially. Financially meaning the norm of the people, right? That he has a roof, he's able to sustain his own life. He eats and he drinks and he has a place, a shelter for him to live in. So one more person does not add anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the provider. يَكُونُ فُقَرَاء يُغْنِيهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. These are principles in the deen. If they are poor, this is in the context of marriage. Allah will provide for them from His bounty. And that's why Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he said, كيف يسمع? How can someone is not married يسمع بهذه الآية ولا يتزوج? How can someone hears this ayah and doesn't get married? Marriage is one of the means of provisions, not the opposite. So this is how we know that with matters of belief. But yes, not someone that would, a specific person. He get married and he does not have a place to live in. Then, or does not have any means to provide for himself. This is of course wrong. So the basic rights of life, and as long as the person is righteous and have khuluq and deen, then he should go forward. And as Muslims, as a general rule like this can be different for specific individuals, but everyone, once they reach the age of puberty and they have the rushd, because a rushd is to be able to be wise enough. Nowadays, if someone is 15 years old and he still act like a 7 years old in the old days, then he's not fit to be responsible for a family. So the person, if he is ready for this and he's responsible, things like this is a person should definitely get married, but without getting himself into trouble. If it's against the legal laws or whatever, this is something else. Yes, and this has to change among the Muslimin because this is part of what they get affected by others. The zawaj, this is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that this is part of the deen is to get married. Unless Umar, a person is exception. Umar radiallahu anhu, if you see a young man is not married, he would say that we have to accuse you of one of two things. Right? Either you don't have the ability, right? Someone has the means. Either you are physically not fit, or you're a sinner. Why are you not married? So look at the other side of those who have no rules and ahkam and halal haram. How they live their life. They're not married and they go to college. What do? They have this friend and this friend and this life. So it's the human instinct that they would do it in a sinful way. And then you ask the Muslim to be away from this and to lower your gaze and to guard your chastity and make your salah 5 times a day and stay till you are 35 years old, till you get your first millions of whatever. This is against human nature. And then marriage becomes mandatory because the person commits a sin or sins because the fact that he's not married. And that's one of the rulings. If someone is not able to protect himself from sins because he's not married, marriage is an obligation upon him. If he has the means. If he doesn't have the means, then he has to fast every day, as the Prophet ﷺ said, to protect himself from sins. But to be at ease with sins, because nobody sees it, nobody knows anything about it, this is all means to the hellfire.